Now we have some edge cases. What happens if it's a straight vertical line or a straight horizontal line and not this gently sloping curve like a demand curve? If it's straight up and down, that means it's inelastic, which means we could change the price and will not change whatsoever the demand. An example might be you need heart surgery or you're going to die. I think you would pay $1,000 or $10,000 or whatever the surgeon wanted to take care of your heart, right? So that's inelastic, where there's no change in quantity given any change in price. So the next edge case is this line that is horizontal, where it's perfectly elastic. So if you raise your price by a penny, the demand goes to zero because everyone else is selling it at that price. So why would somebody pay you a penny more than what you charge? An example would be a pure commodity like table salt, right? If you have 3 salt shakers next to you, they're all salt. And that's what we're looking at as a pure elastic situation, perfectly elastic. What are the factors that affect your own price elasticity? There are 3 factors that could affect it. One is, are there substitutes? If you're looking at Coca-Cola, is there Pepsi? If so, there's impact on your demand because there's a choice. Next is the time or duration of the horizon. So if you're at a theater and you want popcorn and it smells great, well, that's going to affect how much you're willing to pay for that box of popcorn. Third is the expenditure share of your budget. And like apartment shopping, you don't have infinite choice of apartments. You have a thing called budget to account of. So the expenditure share of your overall budget is important. So marginal revenue and own price has a relationship such that we look at the demand curve and then the marginal revenue, which is all the incremental revenue as we move from one point to the other in the demand curve, can be estimated. And the expression is marginal revenue equals the price times 1 plus the elasticity divided by elasticity. When E is between negative infinity and negative 1, then marginal revenue will be elastic. It'll be greater than 0. When E is negative 1 exactly, then marginal revenue is 0. In other words, you've optimized your revenue, so changing it one way or the other will not increase your revenues. And when E is between negative 1 and 0, then you're inelastic, where marginal revenue will actually be less than 0. You're actually going to be reducing as you move into an inelastic portion. So elasticity has relevance to total revenue, as we've seen, but it's actually more precisely indicative of the marginal revenue. On this graph that we see that we have points here on the blue line, which is the demand curve or line. Elasticity is up to the point of unitary. Below that is inelastic. We see the marginal revenue. We start at 6 because that first item we sell, we get $6. But as we go to the right, we're going to get less and less money for each succeeding quantity, such that it actually hits 0 on a marginal revenue basis at this point, which happens to be at the unitary elasticity. Notice that we make the most money on the first item sold, then it goes down, 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 down. If we increase the amount of quantities sold beyond 3, then we'll actually lose money on the subsequent items. And that's the portion of the graph which is inelastic.